The hidden history of concrete. Take a moment to look around you. Whether you are standing in the middle of a bustling street in New York City, a quiet neighborhood in the suburbs, or driving along a vast highway in the Midwest, you are surrounded by a silent miracle. It is under your feet. It forms the walls that protect you, and it bridges the gaps between our cities. It is the most used man-made material on Earth, yet we often treat it as if it were invisible. We call it concrete. To most, concrete is just a cold, gray, and boring substance. But if you look closer, you will find a hidden history, a story of lost knowledge, incredible resilience, and a strength that defies time itself. This is not just the history of a building material. It is a lesson in how to build a life that can withstand the greatest storms. The story begins over 2,000 years ago with the Roman Empire. The Romans were not just conquerors, they were master builders who wanted to create a civilization that would last forever. They discovered a magic formula by mixing volcanic ash, lime, and seawater. This wasn't just a mixture that dried out. It was a chemical reaction that grew stronger over time, even underwater. They used this technology to build the Pantheon in Rome, which features the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world. Despite 2,000 years of earthquakes, weather, and war, it still stands perfectly today. The Romans understood a fundamental truth. If you want to reach great heights, you must first focus on the quality of your foundation. In your own life, the ingredients you choose, your habits, your friends, and your mindset are the cement of your future. However, history is rarely a straight line of progress. When the Roman Empire eventually collapsed, something tragic happened. The secret of concrete vanished. For more than 1,000 years, during the period we call the Middle Ages, humanity completely forgot how to make this material. People lived among the massive Roman ruins, staring at the great Colosseum and the vast aqueducts, but they no longer understood how they were built. They believed these structures were the work of giants or gods from a lost golden age. The materials, the ash, the lime, the stone, were still there, right beneath their feet, but the knowledge was gone. This 1,000-year silence reminds us that even the greatest strengths can be lost if we stop learning and growing. It is a warning that our potential can stay buried if we lose our curiosity and our drive. The rebirth of concrete finally arrived during the Industrial Revolution. In the 18th and 19th centuries, engineers in Europe began to experiment with fire and earth once again. Men like John Smeaton and Joseph Aspdin were not satisfied with the status quo of wood and brick. They faced countless failures as they tried to replicate the strength of the ancients. They spent years burning limestone and clay at incredibly high temperatures, often achieving nothing but dust. But they did not quit. Eventually, they created what we now call Portland cement. This modern concrete was even more versatile than the Roman version, allowing for the construction of the Hoover Dam and the skyscrapers that define the American skyline today. Their story proves that even after a long, dark age in your life, you can rediscover your power. You are never too far gone to rebuild. As we moved into the 20th century, we added one final secret to the recipe: steel. While concrete is incredibly strong when you push down on it, a property called compression, it is actually quite brittle if you try to pull or twist it. To fix this, engineers began hiding a skeleton of steel bars inside the wet concrete. This is known as reinforced concrete. The steel provides the flexibility and tension, while the concrete provides the solid mass. This partnership is what allows a skyscraper to sway in a high wind without cracking. It teaches us a vital lesson about human connection. You may be strong on your own, But to survive the twisting forces of life, the stress, the grief, and the unexpected changes, you need a core of support. You need an inner structure of values and a community of people to help you hold everything together. Today, concrete is everywhere, but its lessons remain hidden in plain sight. It reminds us that growth often requires heat, the difficult times that refine us into something solid. It shows us that a masterpiece like the Pantheon isn't built in a day, but through a careful process of mixing the right elements. Most importantly, the history of concrete shows us that even if we feel broken or forgotten, our recipe for greatness can always be found again. You are currently building the structure of your life. Every choice you make is a new layer of your foundation. Do not build for the now, build for the forever. Make your life so solid, so resilient, and so well supported that 1,000 years from now, the world will look at what you left behind and be inspired by your strength. Would you like me to provide a list of 10 advanced vocabulary words from this story with their definitions to help your viewers learn English?